Living with Patience, Field Reading, Week 22. What Week 22 wanted to tell me, it is something that we talk a lot about, but we haven't embodied, and it is patience. For all the years that I have walked the journey, people have said, oh, you have such patience. And I had it for others, but I had no patience for myself. And when we talk about patience, it is an embodiment. So I could respect other people, but I didn't respect myself fully. So I needed to go deep into myself. And patience is a virtue. It is not just a mental concept. It is living in our body as an way of being. And this week when I spoke to one of my friends, she told me a story, and that story is like, wow, when we are patient, because that is listening, really listening, not just superficial listening, because we are listening to most words, but listening beneath, but listening to the deeper layer of life. My friend was to confirmation and weddings, and when she was in church, there was a family and they had a child, a girl that was 6 years. And in this wedding there was a lady, not a familiar lady, but she was a singer, so they knew her, and she said, I can sing in your wedding. And when she started to sing, my friend witnessed, she started to cry, and really cried. She cried so deep, and she thought, what's happening with that child? Did something happen with her? And then she spoke to the mother afterwards, and what this child, 6 years old, did, she listened. She listened deep. She was so emotional moved by the singer. So when she started to sing, she felt into it, and she cried such a deep cry, and it really activated her. And this is, if you don't live with patience, you will hear the superficial text kind of from the musician and all what so it is, we are on a above layer, so but now we are invited to go deeper. Last week I spoke about the hero's journey, and when I was in the hero's journey, I was presented so many times how to embody more patience. And what I also saw, it is related to our breath, because when we really embody patience, we really belly breath. We go so deep, so kind of all our system are attuned. We are aligned to our soul, we are aligned to all life. So, and also another story that came to mind was in 2018 when I was in Peru. I was 1 month in Peru, and the first week I was so stressed. So I came from an environment and they were very stressful. So the first week, the only thing I needed, it was to adjust, to kind of breathe, start to breathe properly, because I was, and since this was almost my normal, I didn't knew that I was so stressed. Even though the other people said, you are stressed, and I said, no, I'm not stressed, I'm normal. So we are kind of in a habitus, some call it habitat. It is kind of our programming. And when we go on the hero's journey, what we are invited to is to live in another way. So we listen to the calling, because all of us are called, and we are prepared. I have been on a preparation for 13 years. So what I actually saw in 2013, what I saw, this will start happening in autumn this year, 2026. So the journey that I really integrated and all that was shown to me, now I hold it. And this week 22, it ended with a full moon, and I had a full moon ceremony yesterday evening into the night. I was in it for 1:30 in the night, because I didn't want to go out of it, because it was so, I want to live here, I want to live here. And before I went into that ceremony, I have meditated a lot this week, and it comes so much, so it is kind of a luxury. It's like, what should I choose of all this? But the ceremony I did yesterday, it's kind of the old way of ceremony, because it has been shown you are a ceremony, you live in ceremony. But in this ceremony, I radical went in using shamanic practices, rattling and totally get out of the head, and using tools, because I am kind of in a ceremony, but sometimes I want to go completely out of this matrix, and that's what I did yesterday. And what met me was so much light, and this light, it is the Homo Luminous. So it is there for all of us, and if you are listening, this is the path you are on. And I have made several free resources, the book of the hero's journey, and in a month it will come another book, and this is what I'm doing now. And when I said yes to it, because I have a spirit has guiding me, he has guided me with this book. This book is the most emotional, and that's not correct, because it felt like it. Of all the books I have written the last 6 months, it is the most deepest into wealth smarts. But the most dense book I have written, it is the Health Bible. I used several years, but now in this time, so when I started it, I said I opened the field the 23rd, Thursday the 23rd, and I said okay. So then I started to channel. I channel and I channel and I channel, and then this Saturday I really started with the structure. And that Saturday, week 21, was really hard, because I went into the wealth smarts. So we feel it, we feel wealth smarts. So what we are invited into, how can we embody patience? How can we embody all the virtue, grace, and all what we want, the soul calling, even though we feel the wealth smarts, because I also feel it. So when I started last Saturday going into this book, it was so heavy, and I said, wow! And then I was guided, take some music on your ear, and I put music on my ear, and I danced a couple of songs, and then I did a little bit more, and so danced, and then out, music on my ear, dancing, and I had the windows open, I had the doors open, so I needed to, because it was so dense. But this is what is in our field. It is, I'm living in Norway and Scandinavia. We have lived through the Jantelov, law of Jante. And then you are not supposed to embody your bigness. But now I say the opposite. I say you are supposed to embody your bigness. And in the bigness, the virtue of patience. So I was presented in 2013 with what I will go into, because now I fully embody it. And so the embodiment, it is so, for us that have lived with wealth smart, Jante law, and all this crazy programming, because the society and our world is programmed. We have war. We see all the war is fighting, because it is kind of the last something that comes from this. They only know how to fight. They haven't learned how to come in peace. I collaborate with the church, and I have said I don't want to go into this theology and the Christian faith if I cannot come in peace. I have met a lot of war in church, and most of it is light, but there are still darkness. And we find this in politics, a lot in politics and workplaces and so many places. And when I had this ceremony, I was shown what I will do now for 4 months. I don't want to go into it, but one of the things is like I will be in the Child Protective Service for a while, and some of the friends I had until 2013, since I have been in such a deep path, I lost all my friends almost. It was only my cousin that was there, except my family. They also have come along. And now there are some of the friends I had up to 2013 that I will reconnect with. So they have been on their journey, and some of them have serious illness and they have learned deep stuff. So all of us have felt this. So this time is also all about co-creation, to find a community, to find someone that can mirror the source of us. This project that I am in, I must say thank you Peter, because I said to the one I'm channeling, I need some help. And then Peter was there. I have seen Peter a couple of times in a group, but I didn't know him at all. And today I had a meeting with him and met him first time under 4 eyes, and that was amazing. So we are collaborating this book. He gives me feedback and I open more and more, because I actually tried to hold back some of the gift and some of the channeling, and he said you actually have to be totally honest, as I say to all, but I thought that if I come with all me, then it's like, oh, this is too woo-woo. But he said no, we need this, even though it's not woo-woo, because I'm channeling, and just channeling is kind of, oh, we cannot channel, that's not possible, but of course we can. So I present the raw way, how I do it, how it was presented to me, because it came last year and I said yes to this book last year, but life happened and now we are doing it, and this is actually the right period to do it. And when I said yes this Thursday, I thought it will be 3 days and then what came to me, patience, and just feeling, because we have lived so much from this mental programming. This, what we are inviting into as Homo luminous, it is not a mental way of being, it is sensing, sensation, feeling. So we just feel, we vibrate, and it's like, this is what I do when I meet a person. I have a significant meeting in a couple of days, and someone has said, oh, what will you say? I say, I have no idea. When I meet this person, I just have to tune into its frequency. And this person have a very high position, and it's kind of, a lot of people look up to this person. I don't look up or down to anyone. And I don't know what I will say. I will just tune into the field when I meet him, and then I just will take it from there. And I will invite him into the field I'm living from. And I know that he can say no, and he can say so if he is too, because it is very strict. It's very strict law, it's very strict structure. All systems are very strict, so we are invited into doing it a radical new way. And the word that came to me, he actually said it to me, it is evolutionary positive. You are so evolutionary positive. And I thought, okay, yes, I am. So, and we are all invited to be evolutionary positive. And the virtue of patience, it is really embodying it. Because if we live with patience, then we listen. We breathe, belly breathe, and we listen, and all answers are there. So this is a part of the hero's journey. And yes, I was so stressed in 2013. I was so stressed that the body collapsed, and my doctor said, you will die. Your body is so stressed, so you will die. Yes, my old programming died. So I have been there. It's not that I kind of just say it because it's in my mental, but I now belly breathe. And yoga is very supporting for us. It's not because the exercise, because the stretching in itself is good, but it is belly breathing and really, So, yeah. So week 22, patience. Do you have patience first of all with yourself? Your life is a journey, and all the suffering and all the hardship has led you into something. So we are now invited to bring out our gift. And to really bring out our gift, we often need to sense the opposite. So I have sensed so much hellish, very much hellish. So now I will live through the opposite, the light and all this amazing, that energy and the background. We are so supported. We are so supported, in all. So listen inward, meditate, go in the wood, whatever, but to really embody it. And read the books I'm coming, because they really are, someone that have read it is like, wow, it actually did something for me. And I said, okay, perfect. And I know when the Wealth Smarts book comes, it will go even deeper in the pattern of our ancestor, our mother, father, grandfathers, and all the ancestors that have carried so much Wealth Smarts. So much Wealth Smarts. So all this Wealth Smarts is coming up so that we can release it and release it and release. And the school system with completely different. So we need field holders, like I'm a field holder. And when you are a field holder, you need to have patience. So the new professions, the new role that we are invited into, it requires us to live with patience, not intellectual, but embody patience. I wish you the best. Bye.